Good afternoon and welcome to the Red Mic. Today's Red Mic message: conflict resolution. But before we get into it, as always, these Red Mic messages are leadership and life lessons that I've picked up from 25 years as a public servant, 16 years as a youth football and scouting volunteer, and 10 years as a mediocre athlete with far more heart than actual physical ability. Conflict resolution. Let's make it simple, shall we? Just because you're on different teams doesn't mean that the conflict is something that's not workable. And when I say you're different teams, yeah, it's all in the workplace, but before you try to have a meeting of the minds with someone, whether it's in your department, outside of your department, whether you're trying to fix something between people on your team or people between your team and another team, whatever it is, remember that ultimately you all want the same thing. You want some kind of amicable resolution. You want to work through this problem. So before you discuss any of this, lay the groundwork. Be open and honest with the other person, with the other members of the team. It's going to build up a rapport where hopefully you're going to be able to talk things through and keep it on an even keel. Keep your cool. Even if you're fired up, even if you're mad about it, the anger's not going to be productive. So keep the conversation as friendly and as productive as possible. Ask why questions like, what's going on? What's your perspective? Why isn't this the best way to do it? How do we work around the problem? Ask questions. Show the other team, the other party, whatever it is, that you care about a good resolution. You realize that it's in your best interest and their best interest to work this out. By asking those why questions, you're actually showing them, hey, I care about what your thoughts are on this, and I want to make this work out for all of us. Pay attention. With my ping pong ball brain, I have a tendency to not listen to understand. I have a tendency to listen to try to answer. Idle conversation for an ADHD guy, idle conversation can be torture. You're always trying to jump ahead. You're trying to get closer to the end of the conversation so you can, move on and do something a little bit more productive or creative. In conflict resolution, pay attention. Listen for understanding. Try not to interrupt. Try to see things from their point of view. Now, when you speak, be very clear. Use specific details. Don't be vague. Well, I don't think that particular solution is going to work for everybody because if we do it this way, it's going to end up being X, Y, Z, whatever it is. Use I words. I think this. That way, they're clear, and hopefully your clarity will lead to them being more clear. I think this. I feel this way. If you're speaking for your team, we think, we believe, etc. And again, look for common ground. Try to figure out on things that you both agree on and build from there. Make a plan. Every time I hear somebody say make a plan, a couple things come to mind. One is in the movie War Games, where the general he's talking about Rusky, you don't do anything without a plan. Yeah. The other thing is the old adage about it's real easy to make a plan until somebody puts their fist in your mouth. That sort of thing. So, but that being said, make a plan, figure out what steps you want to try to take, and how other people on your team are going to work into that, and then try to follow the plan the best of your ability. Obviously, things are going to happen, and you're not always going to be able to follow every step along the way, but at least hit the broad points, try to stay within that framework. And then last but not least, once you think you've had this meeting of the minds and this project, you know, gets on wheels, so to speak, check back in with all the parties, find out how it's going, if the decisions that y'all made on how you're going to move forward, if they're working, if they're not, tweak it, and try to learn from the entire experience. That's today's Red Mike message. I hope you found it interesting. I hope you found it helpful. Sorry about that. Yeah, the post-COVID is still, coughing. No more fever, no more COVID, but the leftovers remain, shall we say. Anyway, thanks for listening. I appreciate it. I would appreciate a like, a follow, and a share right here on Red Mike Messages. If you're listening on another portal on Facebook, please go to the Red Mike Messages page and like, follow, and share from there. Don't forget, we're also on X, formerly known as Twitter. We're on Spotify. We're on Instagram. We're on YouTube. And we, of course, are on LinkedIn. I'll be uploading all of those later tonight. But for now, we're done for today. I'll see you tomorrow. And remember, life is short. Drink the bourbon.